And welcome back to the channel, guys. Tool reviews of tools I use. Today I'm going to take you through my soldering kit that I bought during lockdown. I decided I wanted to teach myself a few new skills, and soldering was one of them. Just for carrying out basic repairs on phones, computers, wiring, anything like that. The few jobs that I've done with soldering so far as an amateur have already paid for this kit. It's really pretty cheap stuff to buy. So I'll take you through it now. I bought a soldering iron. I bought this Sealy one here. Gets up to a really nice heat. And I was gifted this one, this black made in England one. So I've got a couple of soldering irons and they both have different tips on them. The one on the left has got a sort of screwdriver tip on it. And the one on the right has a sort of pen type nib tip on the end of it. It's just a bit buried under solder, so you can't really see that very well. But a couple of soldering irons there. I've got some shrink wraps, just for making nice little tidy connections. And for that shrink wrap, I can use a lighter just to heat it up and shrink it down. Really, really good. So that little lighter just lives in there. I've got a brush. With that brush I can just clean down little parts, the area that I'm working on, just keep it nice and clean before I start work and after. Really good. I keep a little electrical screwdriver, handy little item if you're taking small components apart. And I've got some flux paste, just helps the solder flow nicely. Got a good selection of solders here. I just bought them based on reviews. So they come in all different gauges. I've got enough to do a lot of jobs with this. Should last me a long time. And I've got a little set of snips here. This little set of snips I can use for cutting the solder, and I can use it for cutting the shrink wrap and just anything like that. Really good to have in a toolkit like this. Not very expensive, and yeah, very easy to buy on eBay. This thing here is a pot grabber, I believe it's advertised as. It's just a lump of silicone, really. It's just made of a soft silicone, but it can handle quite a little bit of heat. So I can rest the soldering iron just on top of it and use it as a work surface. And I keep this piece of plywood here just so that I don't burn a table. If you're working, it's really easy to get caught up in the job, and you just put the soldering iron down, and before you know it, the tip is burning through whatever you're working on. So I try and protect it by using a piece of wood and using this silicone mat. So I'll just keep that in there. The tray it's sat in is just a spanner box that I got from Halfords. It's just held a pack of spanners. Got this little stand here. I can't remember if I bought this or whether it came with the iron. I think it came with the iron, but it just rests there and just keeps the tip from burning anything, but accidents do happen sometimes. This little bit of wire wool is basically what's inside this tub here. Same stuff, and I just use the two for just keeping the tip of the soldering iron clean. Does a good job. And for the same purpose as well, you've got these sponges here, which you buy. When I ordered them, I thought they were going to be quite a bit bigger than this, and they turned up. It really surprised me. They're only tiny little things. They swell up when you soak them with water, as you're supposed to do. And once you get going with it, this is all you need, really. You only need a little tiny surface to use, and they should last for ages. Just that little small pack there, all the way from China. And I've got some blades. These are surgical blades here. So you've got the handles there, and you just buy these blades with them. By a brand called Swan Morton. Really common, easy to get hold of. They come in all different shapes and sizes. Just got a little selection that I can use just for carving little bits of excess solder, anything like that, for cutting the shrink wrap tubes. Useful to have in there. I've got some cotton buds. I can just take out and use them for cleaning up things. And I've got this stuff. This is solder wick. Just a little roll of it. You can see it's just in there. And it spreads out a little bit. And if you just dip that into the solder, if you put too much on, it will just draw it up through a sort of capillary action and remove some of it for you while it's wet. So quite useful to have. I'm still building up my skills with it, so it's definitely good for an amateur like me to have. And I've got a spare tip here for that Sealy soldering iron. That's basically it. That's my kit. It's as I said, it's paid for itself already, so I'm really happy to have it. And it's always good to add new skills to your repertoire as a handyman. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this content, please comment below, like, subscribe and all of that stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.